suppose I'll tell you guys about the campaign I have going on now that I'm coming off the highway and the wind noise won't be as terrible. So I'm GMing for a group of guys an Edge of the Empire campaign. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much Star Wars D&D except with fudge rolls. Yeah, no, it's quite fun. We just had our prologue game after I set up everyone's characters, so made sure that that was all sorted out before, you know, getting them acquainted with the roll system and all that sort of gobbledygook. But as a GM, or a DM rather, is a term you might be more familiar with if you're big on Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons, D&D. Yeah, most DMs don't have a character because they're busy telling a story, they're busy, you know, immersing their characters in that world. But what I'm keen on doing is, you know, having a character, but he's just kind of like a sideliner to the main characters. Like, I really wanted being the operative word, I wanted him to be like a gunslinging rogue, or even like a pilot kind of dealio in the Star Wars universe. Those can be incredibly handy. As you know, Han Solo and all that sort of shit. He's a fucking champion. Why wouldn't you want to be a Han? So I was thinking of being a character like that. The problem is, the player characters want to steal my ship. They want to kill my character and steal my fucking ship, because all their obligations they rolled were like, oh, I'm capitalist, I like crime is good, I like killing people, don't give a shit. So they've been given this opportunity, and I am not sure if they're going to take it or not. But being a good GM means that, sure, they can take the ship and they can take the character's life as well. I haven't actually filled anything out on the sheet yet, so it won't be a waste of paper. But definitely I'm hoping that my character can actually convince the player party that he's actually a fucking handy guy to have around, and, you know, might even get chummy with the characters. Because the player character setup is they have a charmer, a mechanic, and an assassin. So you've got your Boba Fett type, you've got your Lando Calrissian type, and you've got, oh fuck, who's a good mechanic? Like Chewbacca a mechanic a little bit. I guess everyone's a bit of a mechanic. Everyone's a bit of a mechanic in the Star Wars universe. Of course they are. They grew up doing it. Yeah, so we have 2 humans and the Zabrak Charmer. The campaign started off, like, they put me on the spot, really, with the prologue campaign. So what happened was, the 3 are on the world Corellia, and they're on one of the colonies near a starport. Well, I say colony, it's a city, and they're in one of the habitat modules, rather. One of the characters has a bounty on their head, they rolled that obligation, and one of the other characters, the assassin, has come to collect. So that's how we kick it off. And the charmer is just walking down the hall while this all happens, and, you know, one thing leads to another, and he's now helping the assassin claim this bounty. Corsac shows up, shooting in the direction of the player party, and then they manage to escape along the hallway, traveling down a turbo lift, after rolling a mechanics check and severely wounding one of the Corsac security personnel. After they called in reinforcements, this big dude with like a fucking suit of riot gear and a blaster rifle that was pretty hell-bent on just fucking up the party. Like, the party could have totally handled it. Like, they had an assassin, a charmer, and a mechanic. They could have used their auxiliary skills, like their mechanic skills, to, you know, actually literally cause them damage. Like, they could have activated security subsystems on the level, opening up, like, I don't know, like, the opportunities that they had were quite numerous, but You know, they didn't take them. And that's what strikes me as odd. Like, in the moment, I understand, yeah, as a player character, you've got all these decisions you can make. How do you make a decision at that point? It's kind of like riding, honestly. It's like, oh fuck, what do I do? Do I move left? Do I move right? I'm in the middle of the lane, there's two cars on the left and right. Fucking safer to be in the center where there might be an oil slick rather than fucking scraping along the sides of these two cars. Yeah, it's like that. So I'm hoping that they you know, branch out of their shells, start RPing a little bit more, because the second they do that, the second I'm going to start giving them boost die, which is effectively giving the player characters better roles that they can use because they've RP'd this environment advantage. So for example, you're slicing a computer terminal and you're rolling a computer skills check. You could say, okay, I approach the small terminal, and using my slicer kit I begin to hack into the subsystem, and while I'm doing that I also want to run a firewall bypass just to make sure I have a little bit of an edge while I'm cracking into the system. It might be power gamey, like a little bit power gamey, but that kind of RP is definitely something that I'm going to give a minimal reward to, because it's giving depth to the character's actions. It's making them feel more involved, and it's making me feel like I'm doing a better job as a GM. So I'm going to show them this video, and I'm going to fucking hope they follow along. I'm also going to start introducing setbacks for them, so they you know, have a fucking harder time sorting out most of their, what was I saying? I'm going to yeah, that's right, setback die. Those things will, they can turn the tide in my favor. I don't say my favor, because I'm technically helping the party by just fucking offering them all these solutions, but I am of course going to have to, you know, like counteract boost die in some fashion. So it's like, you haven't had a ration in quite some time, so you're feeling a little bit peckish. It's, you know, it's pretty much all you can think about at this point. I'm giving you one extra setback die for that, and then you haven't had much sleep the night before, but that might just become fucking ass pulling. So I'm not sure how to fucking go about it specifically. I guess I'll just wing it. Like, I won't make it too harsh. I'll make it obviously subjective to the roles that are being performed and how the characters have role-played. So yeah, obviously ensuring that characters that have certain skill sets, like the mechanic, I'm gonna give him better boosts for role-playing the mechanic, and the guns, we don't have a gunslinger, I'm gonna be the gunslinger. Gonna let the charm his way through things. I'm gonna fucking give him boost die for good RP on that, because obviously if he's rolling fairly well already, but he's also like offering great RP as a charismatic role, like that's fucking sick, man. Fucking good shit. My character's like in a bit of a pickle. So we've just left Corellia, we've kicked up a stink, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna come into play at some point in the future. But we've just jumped along the Corellian run in the direction of Coruscant. So I think we're one hyperspace jump away from getting to Coruscant and dropping off the players. This is during the Old Republic era, by the way, so definitely might be running into some Mandalorian troopers if you're heading along your way to Taris, which I'm eventually going to lend. No, I shouldn't spoil it. I shouldn't spoil it for the boys, but I'll spoil it for you. If you're part of my campaign, please cease watching this video right now, because it may contain spoilers for the campaign. You fucking get off my channel. Go get out. Alright, so I'm gonna lead the players in the direction of Coruscant, and then once they get there, I'm thinking that some plot device is going to push them in the direction of Taris, maybe even take up the campaign for the Republic. But, you know, fuck the Republic, right? you know, they're a bit scummy sometimes. I might just make them go full Mandalorian. But regardless, I'm going to be pushing them in the direction of Taris, and it'll be the party's choice whether or not they want to fight for a side, or if they want to just, you know, gain a bunch of credits playing the mercenary type, or, you know, being on contract for these blokes. Vex, he's definitely going to be trading most of the time between worlds, so I can bring in a bit of credits for the party's credit pool. It's incredibly low right now. We just finished the character creation process. The prologue's rolled in. I'm thinking of putting like 2,000 in there for Vex, and then I think Ajax, who was the human mechanic character, he's got about 1.45k. So yeah, no, that'll be enough to get maybe some armor for the party that doesn't have any armor yet. Maybe a new blaster, a couple of little bits and bobs like that that'll just keep the party going. So I need to find out what the charmer can actually do, because right now, like, I don't want to say charmers are useless. They definitely have their moments in the campaign that can turn the tide on an entire fucking story arc, but utility wise they don't have a whole lot to offer. So I'm thinking of letting the players start their own colony on the mid-rim, or even start running a station, and the charmer can actually maybe not go there, but just offer like some, you know, words of encouragement, or even act as like a political face for like a faction that the players could even make. So that's something that I'm planning to do with the charmer at this time. Yeah, stop me if you can, but I'm really passionate about this game, man. It's a great time, and if you haven't picked up Edge of the Empire, I highly suggest save your money right now. Buy a fucking Ninja 250R, mate. Jesus Christ. The books are expensive, yeah. If you can, just acquire them. You don't have to buy them, just acquire them. But what you will need is the dice, and there's like one good app that they made. Haven't tried it, haven't bought it, but I've just actually bought the real dice and the core rulebook and a bunch of decks and, you know, a couple of other auxiliary books that I'm waiting on from overseas in America. So I'll be handling that later on. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking rad. Can't wait to get back into the game. I wish I could be a player in one of my games. Don't want to be a narcissist about it though. Just want to have a good time. Comment below what your favorite Star Wars era is, whether it be the Old Republic era, the Clone Wars era, any of that other bullshit. Episode 1 doesn't count. Like, comment, and subscribe to my my channel if you have hands. Just these things. If you have those, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm not putting that in the video. Alright, get the fuck out of here. Alright. Not mending it. This is the end.